All right, looks like we are live on YouTube here, which is wonderful. Welcome everybody watching over on YouTube. And let me just check my technology here for a moment. Let's see. Okay, I think it's all working. Looks like it is. All right, very good. Well, welcome everybody. I am Jocelyn Starfeather, the founder of Sacred Planet, and today I am going to bring you my first installment of the 2024 astrology forecast. Now, this is going to be an overview. This is going to be a look at the most important transits of 2024 and even some in 2025 and future years, just a little bit from these future years that are important for us to know about already in 2024. So I hope you're all having a wonderful holiday. As I'm recording this on December 26th, I hope you're all having a Merry Christmas and happy holidays of all different types that you might be celebrating at this time of year. And hope your solstice was joyful. If you haven't seen my solstice video yet, which I recorded on December 16th, definitely check that out because we're still in the middle of the 12 nights of Yule oracular dreaming time, which goes from the night of December 20th to the night of December 31st. And our dreams during these nights are actually oracles for the dream, for what's going to happen in the upcoming year. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. I'll include the link in the description field below. All right, so let me share my screen now. We will go right to the slides because these are just some incredibly powerful transits that we have coming up. And I can't wait to tell you more about this year, 2024. 2024 is going to have a really different energy than the last 4 years, 2020 to 2023. And I'll tell you all about that and why and what are the new energies that we're moving into. So let's begin. I do want to introduce myself to those of you who may not know me. I am Jocelyn Starfeather. I am a visibility coach for visionary entrepreneurs. I'm a spiritual alchemist, an astrologer, and I've been creating global conferences since 2015. And I am the founder of Sacred Planet. And my mission is to guide you in breaking free from everything that has held you back in the past. So to check out my work, you can go to wearesacredplanet.com. That will also be linked in the description field below. And if you're watching this, you have definitely already found my YouTube channel. So check out my other videos and recent interviews. A lot of really good, exciting things on the Sacred Planet YouTube channel here. And I also want to offer you this wonderful free gift, an alchemical astrology chart reading guide. Now, alchemical astrology is the unique form of astrology that I work within that really looks for the opportunities for transformation in your chart and helps us to understand the initiations that we're going through at this time, why these initiations are happening for each of us in our individual lives based on what is encoded in your unique blueprint of your birth chart. So I have created this guide to help you read your chart or read any chart from the unique lens of alchemical astrology. So if you go to this link, which I will include in the description field below, and put in your name and email address, you'll receive this guide and begin to dive into the amazing world of alchemical astrology and the transformational nature of these times that we're living in and how that is reflected in your birth chart and the transits. Okay, so as I said, 2024 feels really different from the previous 4 years. And this is, of course, reflected in the astrology. So in these recent years, from 2020 all the way through 2023, we have had incredibly difficult transits. And these have been just really off the charts with how challenging they've been. And obviously, we've been feeling that. We've been going through that in our lives. We've been going through that in our experience of collective reality. So we had the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in January 2020. We had Saturn-Uranus squares all throughout 2021 and 2022. Now, I'm not going into detail about what each of these mean because they're in the past and we're going to move forward now, but I just wanted to let you know what these really difficult transits were that defined the last 4 years. We had the Uranus-Mars conjunction, which was also conjunct the North Node. That was at the end of July and early August 2022. And then all throughout 2023, we had Pluto square the nodes pretty much the whole year. And that was very challenging, very difficult. And we've had these particular type of South Node eclipses, especially the eclipses that were with the South Node in Scorpio, but also this past October 2023 with the South Node in Libra, that were beyond challenging. They were actually scary. And those occurred in November 2021, May and October 2022, and May and October 2023. Those were really difficult eclipses. Now, what I want you to know from looking at all of this in summary from a timeline of our past is that as we move into 2024, we are leaving this heavy and dark energy behind, and we are moving into something new and different. And yes, even the eclipses are better in 2024. Thank goodness, right? So the thing is too, I'm not saying that all of a sudden life's going to be easy. All of a sudden it's just going to be flow and joy every single day, every single minute. The thing is, we're still in the middle of these catalyzing times. All of those transits that I just showed you on the last slide have kicked off certain events that are happening in our world. And we've really gotten accustomed to, we've become more and more resilient during these years, which is important and necessary, to having to navigate these really difficult energies, because what's happening in our world is that there are a lot of systems and structures that must break down. And this is governmental and political structures. This is the way that we are making environmental decisions and treating the earth. This is the way we're educating our young people. There is so much that needs to change in our world. So all of those transits that we came through in the past 4 years had a purpose. They were necessary. They were important because this is part of the deconstruction. We must take apart what's not working, break down what's not working in order to build up what is new and what comes next. But as a result of these deconstructions happening, there's been a lot of chaos. There's been a lot of pain. We're still in the midst of all that very, very much right now. So we've still got to deal with these problems that are here in front of us. We still are in the midst of breaking things down. However, there's a real sea change here with the energies starting in 2024. And what is happening is there is more light coming in that is reflected in these transits. And there will be more positive opportunities to actually start building what is coming next. We're going to feel our capacity rising to really begin to build the new world, to build the new way that we want to live. And that starts with each of us individually. We've had things deconstructed in our personal lives. We're going to, in 2024 and 2025, start understanding how can we even build something different? What might that even begin to look like? That's the new kind of opportunity and the new kind of light that I see coming in 2024. It's like we don't have to be only in deconstruction phase anymore. We can really start building what's new starting this year. And it's like all of that energy we've had to hold just for resilience, like just to survive, is we're going to be able to take some of that energy and shift it into this expanded capacity to start building. So this is really beautiful. There are going to be more miracles. There are going to be more breakthroughs. There are going to be more light-filled energies to guide us through these changes, especially in 2024 and 2025. So the felt sense of these next 2 years is quite different. And we're going to actually begin to feel like we're moving forward. We haven't really felt that so much, or it's been hard to connect with that, a belief that we're moving forward, right? As we see so many things falling apart. So we're going to feel that forward movement and like things can actually be starting to go in a new and positive direction. Again, we're still in the midst of a lot of change, but what's happening here is we're getting so much help, so much support that's really filled with light in 2024. And I'm going to be talking, a decent amount today about 2025 because these energies continue and even amplify into 2025. So the real headliner of this year is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in April. I'm going to give a little list here of like the really big things going on this year and next year, so that you can see the summary, but then I'm going to go into each of them in more detail. So Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in April 2024 is saying it's time to take a really big leap into the future. And so I'll say more about that soon. We also have many strong transits with Jupiter and or with Uranus all throughout 2024 and actually into 2025. We're going to have more positive aspects to Pluto and Saturn for the most part this year than what we had in previous years. We had some really rough aspects to Pluto and Saturn in the last 4 years, and that was very hard. And that is shifting. We also have much more fortunate and light-filled eclipses in 2024. Even the South Node eclipses are feeling much better this year. And Pluto will be trine to Uranus beginning in 2025. This is really huge. I'm going to talk more about this on another slide, but this is very life-changing developments that can come through in a much more high-frequency way than the change we've experienced in the last 4 years. Now, the North Node has already been doing this, okay, has already been moving through conjunctions with every single planet. And there is, I actually have this on the next slide, so I'll go right into it. There is something happening here where that's very, very rare, that the way the planets are lined up in the sky right now and the way that the nodes are moving is that all planets, every single planet, including Chiron, is coming into a conjunction with the North Node between 2022 and 2027. So the North Node indicates the shared future direction of humanity. All right, this is really important. This is our future. This is our collective future. And this is like the direction that our souls are pulling us toward in this lifetime as a collective. And so this is actually connected to the earth and the direction that the soul of the earth is being pulled. And we are obviously an integral part of that. So that the shared future direction of humanity is being imprinted with the unique intelligence and energy and design of every single planet over these 5 years. And so this is amazing, really and truly. As every single planet puts its imprint on the North Node, that is a full, like, universal, global input of every aspect of life that we can imagine, because all of these planets each bring their unique aspects that inform us about reality. And every single one of them are having their influence come in, their unique intelligence, their unique design come in to help us shape the future. And so this is allowing us to receive all of these energies from every planet and bring it all together into a holistic and grounded yet cosmic basis from which we can be accurately informed about what and how to build what comes next. So this is really big. Now, the North Node conjuncts with Mercury and Venus every year, with Mars about every 2 years. But these outer planets, this doesn't happen as often. Generally, it would be about every 15 to 20 years, and definitely not all within the same 5-year cycle. So it's really, really unusual. So you can see here the dates when these North Node conjunctions will happen, all the way from 2022 to 2027. And the big one this year will be in February 2024. Chiron will conjunct the North Node at 16 degrees of Aries. So let's talk about that. So this is one of the really big transits of 2024, and we will be feeling this quite strongly during the full month of February. It will be exact at 16 degrees of Aries from February 12th to the 24th. So this is a big completion of a certain segment of our healing work. You know, we have been doing so much healing, so much shadow work, so much cleansing and clearing and releasing old patterns, old traumas, etc. And this is a new beginning that's going to allow us to move forward in a new way using our gifts, our strength, our healing abilities, our courage, and our power. And it's really amazing this is happening in Aries. So let me explain more about that. So first of all, I want to tell you clearly what Chiron represents. Chiron is our deepest wound. Chiron is usually related to some trauma that we've experienced in this lifetime or in previous lifetimes. And it's something that really seems to hold us back. It's something that seems to keep stopping us from what we want to do. But the secret to Chiron is that we need to go into that wounding, that trauma. We need to do the shadow work to heal it in order to transform it. Because once we heal that Chiron wound, we gain access to our greatest gifts as a healer or a teacher or a leader or whatever we're meant to be in this lifetime, in our highest iteration of our gifts. So when Chiron and the North Node come together, this is saying that collectively, in service to our future that we're building together, we are reaching a completely new level, okay, a new dimension of our healing. And with this happening in Aries, it's highlighting the positive qualities of Aries, which are courage, boldness, power, confidence, strength, all of these amazing qualities that we want to bring in to help us get our gifts out into the world and really let us be bold and courageous and confident enough to share them with others. So this is amazing. This is really placing a big focus on a breakthrough occurring in healing that deepest wound. Right. And so these are the things we've been working on healing for years or decades or even lifetimes. Right. This point, February 2024, is when the breakthrough comes. This point is when you're going to be finally able to move beyond that old pattern of trauma and really connect with your courage, strength, power, boldness, self-expression, confidence, all those good Aries qualities. So I really strongly recommend that, especially at some point, whatever point feels right and most aligned for you between February 12th to the 24th, make space to be in retreat mode or be in ritual or ceremonial space so that you can receive this completion to your healing, so that you can receive this breakthrough gift from Chiron, so you can move beyond those old woundings and traumas in a really new and incredible way. And so, this is meant to be a huge opportunity, a healing opportunity to help you leap towards your highest evolution. And we want to make room for this. There are a few things in 2024 that are very important to make room for, to be aware of, to be preparing for ahead of time, so that you can receive the amazing gifts of these transits. And this is a big one. So start planning now, mark on your calendar, what is the day between February 12th to 24th, or maybe multiple days that you want to be in your own ceremonial space, or maybe be attending a healing gathering of some sort so that you can receive this gift from Chiron. And so Chiron and the North Node say to us, thank you for your devotion to your healing work. Now you have reached a new level of your healing, and you can finally access the powerful gifts that have been within you all along. Right? So beautiful. So, so beautiful. Here's the really big headliner. I believe the absolute most important transit of all of 2024 is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus. Now, this will be exact from April 18th to 24th at 21 degrees of Taurus. But this is really the predominant energy we're going to be feeling for the whole first half of 2024, January to June. Jupiter and Uranus will be very close together during this whole time and moving closer and closer and closer for the first 4 whole months. And then even after the transit is done, both Jupiter and Uranus keep getting highlighted by the sun, by Venus, and these energies, we keep getting brought back in and reminded of this powerful conjunction. So let me just tell you a little bit about each of these planets. Jupiter is the planet that represents abundance and expansion, right? Like our expansion of ourselves into a higher level of who we can be. Jupiter represents higher wisdom. He is very related to optimism, okay, and blessings and abundance of all types. Jupiter represents all good things on a really big level. He's very expansive, you know, it can be even like, oh my gosh, this is even more abundance than I ever thought was possible. That's the energy of Jupiter. And Uranus is the planet that stands for our freedom and our liberation. Now, we've had a lot of really strong transits, including some of the eclipses that were aligned with Uranus or that were in significant aspects to Uranus. So what Uranus does is he comes and shakes things up. Uranus brings surprises, unexpected and unforeseen events. It is all in service to our freedom and our liberation. Uranus, though, because it feels shocking at times, it can be difficult to take. And then especially these transits we've had, like in 2021 and 2022, Saturn square Uranus, those were very difficult surprises that were happening during those times. And when Uranus is involved in eclipses, you know, this can be really difficult surprises coming through. And what's different about this one is that Jupiter is involved. Jupiter is bringing an optimistic feeling, an expansive feeling, a whole new level of what is possible when we point ourselves toward our freedom and our liberation. Now, what's important to know is, again, those difficult transits with Uranus in the previous years, they were all purposeful. It was all part of helping us break out of the old ways of being that were not working for us, okay, and help us move toward our freedom and our liberation. But it may not always feel easy. So this is different. When Jupiter and Uranus come together, this is about unexpected leaps towards success, unexpected new levels of abundance. When Jupiter and Uranus have come together in conjunction in previous decades, this happens about every 15 years or so, this conjunction. So it's fairly rare. These are times of exploration and innovation, okay? Like new inventions that had never been heard of before are often invented during the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction times. Space travel is very connected to taking leaps of advancement when Jupiter and Uranus come together. And so this is about really revolutionary change. And with Jupiter involved, it can be in service to higher consciousness and enlightened value systems. Jupiter is also about faith, right? Faith and trust in the bigger picture, the bigger plan that we're all a part of, right? So this is going to bring us faith and courage, ingenuity, creativity. And I really see this as the ability to leap off a cliff toward a new and as yet unseen future and make that future happen. You know, this carries the energy of being able to leap off a cliff and know that you're going to be fine. You're going to make a really good landing and you're going to be in a completely new place that you never imagined 5 minutes previous to that, but it's going to be really positive. So this is an amazing time to do something bold, do something that maybe you've been afraid to do before, something that you felt like you weren't allowed to do before. Do it now. Do it in April 2024, or even in March 2024. We'll be very, very much moving into these energies. This is a good time to do something daring, break the rules, go on a wild adventure, let yourself be surprised by what happens. It's definitely a time when we don't want to let anything hold us back. And so Jupiter and Uranus say to us, take a risk that you know in your heart is aligned. You are supported now. And I love this Rumi quote. I have this actually in my email signatures because this is my favorite Rumi quote and it's so perfect for this transit. Forget safety, live where you fear to live, destroy your reputation, be notorious. Now, Uranus and Jupiter are going to keep coming up in the transits all throughout 2024. These two planets are really going to be at the center of the action all throughout this year. And so I have these kind of statements from both of them so you can lean into this energy. So Uranus asks you, what is the act of chaos that would shift and change all of your current structures? And do you dare to take action on it? And Jupiter says, your expansion is guaranteed. The abundance you need is already being sent straight to you. All that is needed from you is to trust. So I would say really take these two statements, put them on a piece of paper or a Post-it note, hang them up on your mirror or somewhere that you'll see them every day, and lean into these energies because they are going to be working with us so strongly, creating a lot of action for us this year, all throughout 2024. Now, I have an important note about April 2024. It's really asking us to be daring, and it's going to be an intense month. So we will have eclipses, a lunar eclipse on March 25th and a solar eclipse on April 8th. And so leading into this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, there will be an eclipse portal that happens before it, okay? And we're also going to have a Mercury retrograde throughout most of the month of April. So that's a very interesting combination of energies. And the experience that you will have during this month will be very different for different people. Some people are going to have the most miraculous breakthrough experiences. I hope all of you listening have those miraculous breakthroughs this month. But the thing is that especially those who have been preparing for this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction and are positioned to take or in the midst already of taking a big leap in their lives at this time will receive the benefits and the miracles of this transit. Right. So this depends on also where these transits occur in your birth chart. And I do highly recommend getting an astrology reading in 2024. I will include, or I should say in early 2024, so you can see where all this falls in your chart. I'm going to include a link below to where you can book a reading with Sacred Planet's in-house astrologer, the amazing Cynthia. I don't do one-on-one astrology readings anymore, but Cynthia does, and she's amazing, and she is fully trained in alchemical astrology. So check out that link below, and you can get a reading with her if you would like to. So it depends on where these transits are happening in your birth chart, but it also depends on what you're doing, what actions you are taking, what initiatives you are putting forward to make positive changes in your life. Because this April 2024 energetics with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, it is really about change. Now, it's very positive change. It's very helpful change, okay? But we want to be in the mode of embracing change, like really hug the change to you in early 2024, and then you'll receive the gifts of this. So I strongly recommend start thinking about this now if you haven't already. Put yourself in a position to take a big leap somewhere around April 2024. It could be March, it could be May, that's fine, but really take this as a chance, an opportunity to step up and step into your power, or maybe step out of your comfort zone in a new way and do something you haven't done before so you can receive all the brightest blessings of these amazing, powerful April transits. Okay, very different energy here. Pluto and Aquarius. This one is really important this year. So what happens is that in 2024, Pluto finally moves fully into Aquarius. So you can see the dates at the top here. Pluto will move into Aquarius conjunct the sun, which is significant. They're both be moving together from 29 Capricorn into 0 degrees of Aquarius on January 20th. Then Pluto will go retrograde again and will eventually exit Aquarius on September 1st. But Pluto will re-enter Aquarius on November 19th, 2024, and stay there until March 8th, 2043. So this is 20 years. 20 years that Pluto will be in Aquarius, and it starts in November of this year. So this is huge. This is a major dynamic in our world for the next 20 years, and it starts now. It really starts this year. So on a personal level, Pluto in Aquarius is about finally being able to access your true power within, because that's what Pluto stands for, our true and deep power. This is also about a new understanding of life itself and a new understanding of the sacredness of all things, revelations of what has been hidden. Pluto is always bringing up what is hidden below the surface. This could be a death to rebirth journey if this, if you have significant planets or points at 0 degrees of Aquarius or making strong aspects to that degree. Initiations and catalyzing new understandings of who we actually are. And I mean that on a really big level, which I'll talk about soon here. On the collective level here, Pluto in Aquarius is going to bring about a massive shift in consciousness. And Pluto's going to spend a lot of time in 2024 at 0 degrees Aquarius. This is where Jupiter and Saturn had their grand conjunction in December 2020. So this is truly marking the initiation point of a new age. And with Pluto being so involved here, this is a new age where the mysteries and life, death, and life after death or rebirth and revealing what is hidden will all become increasingly important aspects that will be brought into the collective awareness over the next 20 years. So what those of you in the Sacred Planet community are doing, where we're working with alchemy, we're studying ancient Egypt and ancient civilizations and what did they know in their mystery schools, that kind of knowledge is going to become much more widespread and mainstream over the next 20 years. This is also with, Aquarius is a sign that significantly includes technology. And so this will bring about unexpected and uncharted next levels of technology. And once Uranus moves into Gemini in July 2025, that is just going to go through the roof. I'll talk more about that soon. Pluto in Aquarius also brings about sweeping changes in social order and public rights. So Pluto was in Aquarius from 1778 to 1798. And if you think about what was happening in the world at that time, this was the ratification of the American Constitution, the Industrial Revolution, the French Revolution, the Enlightenment, and significantly the publication of the Vindication of the Rights of Women by Mary Wollstonecraft. Very interesting, huge sweeping social changes. And what I really see happening here is that Pluto is going to force a change in our leadership structures. We know that our leadership is not working. It's not working at all. The way that the countries, the governments, the politics are being run in our world is, it's laughable, truly, at this point. It's so outdated. The people who are in leadership have no idea how to serve the majority of their, citizens. They're completely disconnected. We have this situation where the top 1% or even less, like 0.5% of people have all the power and all the money and are making the decisions for the whole world. It's just ridiculous. It's ludicrous. So that's not going to survive this 20-year transit. New Aquarian leaders are going to rise. New leaders that will probably be much younger, that will have very different value systems from what is running our world right now. And that will be much more in connection with egalitarian ideas, bringing in, grassroots new forms of leadership and really concerned about what does the community need? What do the majority of the people need? How can we more equitably distribute the wealth and the power and so on? So this is going to be a big overturning in these 20 years. That's just getting started right now. A big overturning of those old power and leadership structures. This new leadership model will thrive on promoting visionary or radical ideas for the future. And so we could see some really surprising people, being elected into office that are going to come in and just, completely shift the way that governments are run. Some of the wars that we see happening right now, unfortunately, while it's a terrible thing that we see occurring and it's causing a lot of suffering, but it is bringing our awareness more strongly than ever before and bringing mainstream awareness to the fact that our current leaders are not doing what we actually need, not doing what is in the highest good for the most people. And so, you know, they will be overturned largely because of what we see happening in the world right now. So Pluto in Aquarius is going to ensure that these changes will be brought to fruition. And so this may appear as a death and rebirth of our societal structures. Pluto being the Lord of the underworld, you know, he brings us through these death and rebirth journeys, these initiatory journeys, so that we can truly and lastingly change and build the new world that we know is possible. Also, with Pluto representing the underworld, representing the other side of the veil, that which we cannot see, that which is hidden from our human eyes, we're going to see new concepts of the divine or God and sacredness enter into collective consciousness. It may turn out, I really see this happening during this 20-year time, that we develop a perception of what is God or what is the creative force of the universe as being something completely different from what any of the religions of the past have ever said. Very different next level understandings of what reality is and how we've been created. I don't know what that will be, right? But I think it will be something really fascinating and new and different. This could also bring about and will also bring about a renewed relationship with the mysteries of life and death. And this is going to be informed by our expanding relationship with beings from beyond the earth. As you know, this is already happening. This disclosure is already occurring. We're already seeing it from the government. We know there's so much more that they haven't told us about yet. And I think that our entire perspective of our place in the world, our place in the universe is going to be transformed. Who we are, our perception of who we are and what reality is going to be transformed by our expanding relationship with these other beings in whatever form they may come through in. So will be really interesting to see, but that's very Aquarian, and it's part of the constructs that are changing right now. I love the image of Pluto in Aquarius as the Egyptian Neter Osiris. And you can see him here. It's a very beautiful depiction of Osiris from the tomb of Nefertari in near Luxor in Egypt. And, you know, Pluto in Aquarius is not going to be like the old Hades kind of character, you know, Lord of the underworld, you know, who is ruling through ego and power. This is very different. And Osiris really represents that so beautifully. You know, he is the Lord of the underworld, but the underworld for the Egyptians, or the Duat, is not below the surface of the earth. It's actually up in the sky. It's actually up there in the immortal stars. So this is a very galactic view of what the other side of the veils might be like. And Osiris is very kind and caring and beneficent. And he is truly interested in fostering the highest evolution of humanity, right? So his ideals are very Aquarian. And I think this is a really wonderful depiction of what Pluto in Aquarius can be like. Okay. So another big transit that's happening right now. This is a 3-year transit that we're in the middle of now that is going on from March 2023 to February 2026 is Saturn in Pisces. So you can see here by year what degrees of Pisces Saturn will reach. In 2024, he will be moving between 3 to 19 degrees of Pisces. So you can look and see where that is in your chart. Now, during this time, Saturn and Pisces are two very different opposite energetics. Saturn is structure and order and rules and regulations, and often will slow things down to make us stop and think about it for a while, to make us change and reflect. Pisces, on the other hand, is all the dimensions. Very, very multidimensional, very cosmic. It includes actually everything, every possibility. And this is the vast expanses of our imagination and our visions and our dreams at night. All of that is included in Pisces. Very different from the restricted and structured energy of Saturn. So when Saturn comes into Pisces, first of all, Saturn is not very strong in Pisces. We went through 6 years when Saturn was in Capricorn and then Aquarius, that Saturn was very strong. We had these really strong Saturnian energetics going on. This is very different. Saturn is softened by Pisces. So what can happen here with Saturn in Pisces is that the esoteric, the mystical, the magical, all of those Pisces themes will actually come into a sort of wider available structure, will come out more into mainstream awareness. And this is echoing part of what the Pluto and Aquarius themes are. Okay. Themes of death and rebirth, themes of the multidimensional nature of reality. All of that is going to come out into the structure of how we actually understand reality to be in a much more mainstream way. Now, as Saturn is moving through Pisces, a huge, absolutely momentous number of people are going to have their spiritual awakenings or wake up to the fact that, you know, what we're being told is not the full reality and knowing they need to change their lives. And so those of us, all of you listening, those of us who are, you know, have already had our awakening experiences, who have already been walking this road for a few years or a few decades, we're going to be really needed to guide those who are just newly awakening from now through 2026. And so this is an amazing time to start or expand any kind of project, business, venture, community that is based on spirituality, healing, energetics, frequency work, ancient wisdom, mystery school teachings. The list goes on. You can see what I have on the slide here. Any of these topics are going to be so sought after. And we already see this happening. You know, Saturn's already been in Pisces since March of 2023. This is already happening in a really big way. People are turning to these more ancient and holistic forms of healing. People are turning to plant medicines. People are turning to alchemy, ancient wisdom. All of this is so needed. So if you've been thinking of starting a business or a project related to these themes, please do so. And I'm here to support you in that. I have an exciting announcement in a little while that is very relevant for that. But in whatever way is right for you, whether it's related to, you know, connected to working with me or not, start your project, start your business. Now is the time. You're going to be in very, very high demand within the next year or 2 or 3 as everybody realizes this is the direction that we need to go. Now, Saturn in Pisces can also be a time of spiritual tests because Pisces represents spirituality, multidimensionality, and Saturn will also often give us a test. Saturn will slow things down or put a pause on life, okay, to help us get clear on what we really need to do going forward, and sometimes to create a change in direction in our lives. So as it says here, when there's a lesson we need to learn, Saturn brings slowdowns, frustration, and prevents forward movement. So if that's happening in your life, start having conversations with Saturn, okay? Ask Saturn, why are you creating this slowdown for me, dear Saturn? How can I learn these lessons more quickly and get out of this frustrating time? Because ultimately he wants you. Saturn is about also about work. You know, part of this structure is like, how are we structuring our lives to bring our gifts forward? So Saturn wants us to build our legacy work that will serve the world, that will go on even beyond this lifetime. And he's probably pointing you in that direction if he's slowing you down right now. So this is, again, a fabulous time to start a business based on these themes of spirituality, healing, energetics, etc. Also a fabulous time to create new structures to support your spiritual practice, build your dreams into concrete reality, and find opportunities where dreams, imagination, and vision can challenge the outdated modern world structures or concepts. And this is a great quote from Pam Gregory, she's an astrologer that I really, really honor, and she's just amazing. This is a good Saturn in Pisces quote. She says, don't focus on what's ending, focus on all that's beginning anew. This time is a doorway to multidimensionality that we have never experienced in our lifetimes. Yes, yes. Okay, so let's talk about Gemini because we have a lot of activity in Gemini in 2024 and 2025. So first of all, Jupiter is going to move from Taurus to Gemini. Jupiter has been in Taurus from May 16th, 2023. He will move into Gemini May 25th, 2024, and will stay there for a little over a year. So as Jupiter moves into Gemini, Jupiter is going to expand and highlight, as he does so well, all of the Gemini themes. Now, this includes higher wisdom, higher consciousness. You know, Gemini, the ruler of Gemini is Mercury. And Mercury is the mind, the intellect, our communications. And so Gemini represents all of those things, but in a way that we are seeking to learn more, to expand our consciousness, to optimize our mind, our intellect, and our communications. So Jupiter in Gemini is going to bring breakthroughs around what we can do with our mind and our intellect. And this gets into those mystery school topics, you know, like how did the ancient Egyptians move 200-ton stones 150 miles down, you know, from the quarry to where the pyramid was actually built? Well, maybe they did it with their mind. Maybe they did it in some way using higher technology, Gemini, that we have forgotten. We're going to be having big breakthroughs, and the memory is coming back during this time with Jupiter in Gemini and Uranus in Gemini after that, which I'll talk about soon. Uncovering of new information about ancient civilizations and the history of humanity, rewriting who we perceive ourselves to be. Now, this again is already happening. It's going to be to the much higher level as Jupiter and then Uranus move through Gemini in the coming years. Perhaps the creation of a new Library of Alexandria. You know, that's one archetype or representation of Gemini that I just love. Gemini is like the Library of Alexandria, right? So maybe a new form of that will come into being, making ancient and mystery-based teachings more widely available, new languages. And I put a question mark by this because this kind of came through from Spirit and my guide to new languages. I don't understand, but hey, somehow that could happen with Gemini. New forms of communication, also communication beyond Earth, including with extraterrestrial beings. So Jupiter in Gemini is going to prepare us and pave the way for Uranus to enter Gemini in July 2025. I really do have that sense that like this year that Jupiter will be in Gemini will be preparing us for the even more amplified effect of Uranus entering Gemini. So let's talk about that. And I know we're moving out of 2024 for a little bit here, but it's important. It's so important to know that this is coming up because we're already building into it starting in 2024. So Uranus moves into Gemini on July 7th, 2025, retrogrades back into Taurus in November, and will be fully in Gemini from April 25th, 2026 to August 3rd, 2032. All right, so that is, it's 7 years altogether, including the July to November 2025. So Uranus in Gemini, oh my goodness. Well, we've already talked about Uranus standing for our freedom, our liberation, surprises, unexpected events. And Uranus is like the higher octave of Mercury, you know, Mercury being our mind, our intellect, our communications. Uranus is the lightning version of that. Okay, taking Mercury to the next level. So this is going to bring us unexpected next levels of technology, especially with Pluto in Aquarius. It's going to be off the charts with the kind of technology. And I have to believe that part of that is coming back to our awareness of the technology we already have within us that doesn't need an iPhone or a screen or a, you know, plug to function. We already have it within us, right? Next levels of technology coming back to this remembrance of what we already hold inside of us. Rapid advances in information networks, perhaps a new version of the internet that we can't even imagine yet, lightning quick mental abilities, rapid innovations in science, technology, and communication, definitely advances in aviation, including space travel, definitely our first widespread communications with extraterrestrials. I really have no doubt in my mind that that's going to occur sometime between 2025 to 2032. For some reason, my guides have been saying 2027 is when that will happen, like that the world, more of the world will be in very mainstream and very accepted, communications with those from beyond Earth. Radical new fields of science may emerge, or again, maybe a remembrance of the radical fields of science from thousands of years ago that the ancient people knew about. And with Gemini is very much the energy of studying, learning, expanding our knowledge, right? So we're going to be very inspired to study and learn more in multiple fields at once. And Uranus in Gemini also brings very interesting inventions. Okay, so last time Uranus was in Gemini, it was the invention of the first aerosol cans, the Polaroid camera, the microwave, these kinds of things that were like groundbreaking at the time. So this is really big. And again, with Jupiter moving into Gemini in June 2024, we're already going to be feeling this energy. And I have a little bit more to share here about Uranus and Gemini. This is really about lifting up the higher mind to unforeseen next levels of consciousness. And I think this is going to take us far beyond any currently imaginable understandings of reality. I have a picture here of Thoth, or Jehuti, the ancient Egyptian god of all the sciences, all the mathematics, sacred geometry, alchemy, astrology, astronomy, basically the construction of the universe, right? The architecture of the universe. And he's such a wonderful representation of Gemini. So Gemini is that higher mind, higher learning, curiosity about the nature of reality. It involves alchemy, universal order, and cosmic law. And then with Uranus as the planet that stands for our freedom and liberation, the higher octave of Mercury, it represents these constructs of mind, intellect, and communication taken up to a more multidimensional and higher frequency level of consciousness. So Uranus in Gemini is likely to bring new breakthroughs and understanding about our universe and our role in it, accelerated evolution of our physical, mental, and imaginal realities, and clear and widespread contact with extraterrestrials. And then not only that, but also Uranus will be trine to Pluto. All right. So once Uranus moves into Gemini in July 2025, Pluto will be in the early degrees of Aquarius still. So Pluto between 1 and 8 degrees of Aquarius will trine Uranus at 1 to 8 degrees of Gemini. And this is happening multiple times that they're very close to an exact trine between 2025 and 2028. But there are 3 exact trines, which are the dates here: 2026, July 18, 2026, November 29, 2026, and June 15, 2027. So this is a trine. It's a favorable aspect, and it will support us in creating positive changes. However, this is going to feel like it's beyond our comprehension, like beyond our grasp, kind of otherworldly. And so it might feel like we're evolving faster than our ability to comprehend what's happening during this time. So that's going to be very, very amplified energies. We need to trust, and we need to keep in mind that with it being a trine, it is for our positive evolution. And then Uranus moves faster than Pluto, so Uranus will finally pull away from the trine in June 2028. So that's a look way ahead. Just a few smaller transits that I wanted to mention to you for early 2024. So it's really beautiful. The Sun and Pluto are going to form a conjunction and enter Aquarius together on January 20th. And we will have all planets direct from January 27th until May 2nd. So this will be a wide open window for positive forward movement in early 2024. We will have a Mercury retrograde in there, but other than that one, which lasts 3 weeks, all planets are direct during that time. we have a Venus and Mars conjunction at 6 degrees of Aquarius on February 22nd at 2:22 a.m. New York time. Isn't that amazing? I think that's going to be a really important Venus-Mars conjunction. And then we have a Sun, Mercury, and Saturn conjunction very soon following that at 9 degrees of Pisces on February 28th, and that is sextile to Jupiter at 11 degrees of Taurus. So these are very positive transits near the beginning of the year. These are the dates of the eclipses. Now I'm going to do a whole other broadcast that will go into a lot more detail about the lunations of 2024 and all of the new moons and full moons. But just for now, you can take a quick look at these and see that these both feel really positive. This one on March 25th is a lunar eclipse. The one on April 8th is a solar eclipse. They're highlighting Jupiter, they're highlighting Uranus, they're highlighting Chiron, these energies that are already very, very at the focus of our attention. And so these eclipses are they're going to be helping us process what's happening and what's moving in our lives at these times. And one last note about early 2024, I wanted to point out that May has really big energy. We're going to have a Sun-Uranus conjunction on May 13th. There's all these beautiful conjunctions happening in May. Then on May 18th, we have Venus conjunct Uranus and Sun conjunct Jupiter, all very close together. And then on May 22nd, we have Venus conjunct Jupiter, which also has the Sun very, very close to conjunct with both of them. This is a beautiful transit. This is an amazing note of completion to Jupiter's time in Taurus, and then Venus and Jupiter will move into Gemini pretty much together. Really interesting. You know, Venus-Jupiter conjunctions are about as benefic as you can get, meaning about as positive as you can get for any transit, because they both represent the most amazing abundance and beauty. You know, Venus represents abundance, wealth, beauty, how we value ourselves, romance, relationships. And Jupiter, as we already said, represents abundance, blessings, higher learning, higher knowledge. So when they come together, it's just amazing. So that will be on May 22nd, and it will be with the Sun almost exactly conjunct both of them as well. So really, really beautiful. Now, I hope this has been really helpful for you. And like I said, this is the first installment. I'm going to be doing another 2024 forecast, part 2, installment 2, that will go into more detail about the month by month forecast. All right, I wanted to do this one first that gives you an overview of the standout energies, the highlight energies for the year. But I also want to let you know about something very special that I'm opening up at this time. I'm going to be opening up enrollment for the Radical New World Building Group. Now, this is something we did in 2023. We had an amazing group of students come through the Radical New World Building Group and had beautiful results. And so I can't wait to do this again in 2024. Now, let me stop sharing, and we're going to go to a different screen so I can tell you more about this beautiful program. And I hope many of you will join me there because we're going to have so much fun. So if you go to wearesacredplanet.com/Radical New World Building with hyphens, I will include that link in the description field below. But this is the Radical New World Building Group, the mythological, astrological, strategic, and visionary support. And this is especially for those on the profound path of bringing your soul mission and purpose to the world. I mentioned that this is a year to take a big leap, especially with that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in April. And so I am here to support you so that you can take your big light-filled leap in 2024. So if you're wondering what to do or how to tap into these energies in an amazing way, the Radical New World Building Group is here. And this is for those who know that you're meant to be a part of building this radical new world in some way. And some of you will be very clear on how you want to do that, and I will work with you exactly on what you need. Others will be still figuring out, what does that mean for me? How can I get there? And I will be guiding you as well. So in this group, you will be fully supported in bringing your new world building project, venture, community, or business into the world and making it successful based on your terms. And that's really important. This is not following only my methodologies. This is not following, you have to do it this way, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. This is making it successful based on your terms. So I meet everybody who comes into this group exactly where you are. And I will help you to get the breakthroughs that you need, the paradigm shifts that you need. I will provide you practical information. I will provide you with astrological information, all kinds of support materials to help you and assist you on your way so that you can do it in the unique way that's exactly right for you. And so I invite you to think of this as a mythical paradigm-breaking guide to each month of the year, because we're going to be really journeying with the transits and with the energies that will be changing and so dynamic and fluctuating every month. So you can have exactly what you need and receive the amazing support of each and every transit as we go through the year. So you'll receive timely and inspiring updates throughout the year on the most important astrological transits as we move through them. Also, mythology for the seasons and energetics that we are moving through. Teachings from ancient and indigenous cultures that are relevant for what you need at the time. I will be traveling a lot in 2024. So some of the classes I'll be teaching live from Egypt or live from different places on the earth. So transmissions from the earth on my travels around the world will be a part of this. Also in the group, there's time that I can give you personalized astrology chart readings during the class. I will also guide you in guided shamanic journeys that are really powerful and profound and that my students just love experiencing. All of this will be provided to you in the context of visionary entrepreneurial coaching. And this is what I love to do. You know, I am here, as I said at the beginning, with a mission to help you break free from everything that has held you back in the past. And a huge part of my purpose is to help those who want to come in and bring a project, a venture, a business, a community into the world that will serve in assisting others as we build this radical new world together. And I am here to help you start that project, business, venture, or community, because we're all needed. It's an all hands on deck kind of time. And we are so supported right now by the astrological energies. I'm here to help you do that thing that you've been wanting to do for so long. So you can come here to the website and read more. I'm not going to read every detail. You can come and check it out. But I just want to say here that these years, 2024 and 2025, are bringing in an unfathomably high level of new light and vibrational support for those who are here on a deep soul mission. So that project that you've been hoping to begin for years, or maybe even for decades, the time to create it has arrived. The world needs it now. And in this group, I'm going to support you in building it so that you can bring it to the world. And as it says here, the earth needs you, humanity needs you, all of life needs you. And so these, as I said on the Saturn and Pisces slides, these kinds of projects, ventures, communities, businesses based on all of these topics that you see right here are very favored by the cosmic energies and very much needed in our world. So I want to help you start those. So come on and check out the page. I want to skip ahead to the curriculum so you can see what that's all about. You can come and read some testimonials. Here we have some beautiful testimonials for those who came through the Radical New World Building Group in 2023. Very powerful stories here that they have shared. So here is our curriculum, and I just want to give you an idea of what we'll be moving through each month. So for January, we will meet on January 8th and the 15th. We will be meeting on Mondays at 11 a.m. New York time. And so in January, we'll have our opening circle, we'll have our visioning for the year, and we will have galactic center activations because Mercury, Venus, the Moon, and Mars will all come into contact with the galactic center in January. So this is an amazing month to dream big and vision a new future for yourself and for our collective. And there's much more. You can see that we'll have a guide of the goddess Oya, the African Yoruba goddess of lightning, storms, and wind in January. So beautiful. We will activate the galactic center wherever it falls in your own birth chart to open your own portals to abundance and inspiration. And then in February, we will have many planets in Aquarius this month, including Pluto, Venus, Mars, and Mercury. And, Venus and Mars will have their conjunction in Aquarius this month. So we're going to talk about radical new forms of leadership in February 2024. And so we're going to have conversations about what kind of leadership does the world really need? How can we create that from within ourselves? How can you each build that into your projects that you're creating? And our guide for February will be the Egyptian goddess Seshet, who is a master of sacred architecture. We'll talk a lot more about her, and you will get to do a beautiful shamanic journey with her. And this month, I'm going to provide a training which fits very well with the Aquarius themes of creating your website. So really bringing in the right technology for your project. And I will include lots of tips, tricks, and recommendations to make the path smoother for you in building an amazing and beautiful website. Now, every month we'll have plenty of time for coaching and for you to ask for any support that you may need. Then in March, we are going to have Venus in Pisces, which is an amazing, beautiful energy. Venus is exalted in Pisces, and meaning that she's very powerful during this time. And so she's going to guide us to create new levels of abundance, beauty, joy, and ease in our lives. And we're going to connect in with that energy through the archetype of Venus, Aphrodite, and Hathor. These amazing goddesses who know how to be in flow and just let the abundance arrive at their doorstep. Now, I'm going to provide a really potent training, which has gotten just rave reviews in previous years, called Welcoming the Flow of Abundance into Your Life, the Energetics of Money for Spiritual Entrepreneurs. And, money, when we're talking about spiritual entrepreneurship, money is a really big, important topic. So this is a life-changing talk. It's going to help you completely shift your relationship to money and be able to start receiving without guilt, shame, or worry, which is such a big thing that happens when we are empaths and intuitives and we feel conflicted around that topic of money. We're going to clear all that up with the support of Hathor and Venus. We're also going to talk about the upcoming eclipses and how to work with them to receive the most from these actually really beneficial eclipse transits. And then you're going to want support in April. April is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, Mercury retrograde, eclipses. This is just a beyond exciting month. I'm going to share a beautiful training about receiving your sacred instructions from the universe, which you'll then be able to take and meditate with all throughout this potent month, really opening your channels to the incredible plan that the universe has for you in this lifetime. And so much more. Our guides will be Jupiter and Uranus themselves because they are such amazing archetypes and powerful beings. And so we'll work with them and journey with them, shamanic journeys with Jupiter and Uranus. It's going to be really quantum. It's going to be really amazing and next level. Ooh, and then May. May is also a really powerful month. So we're bringing in the Taurus energy now in May. The sun will be in Taurus for the first 20 days of the month. And this is about grounding the revolution and rebellion into practical next steps. So whatever came through for you in April, it's likely to be very revolutionary and rebellious and, very next level. So you'll be feeling ready to leap ahead. And I want to make sure that you can really ground that energy and use it to build something solid, right? So we're gonna bring it all into a practical form. And I'm going to share a training about how to choose a business model or structure for your project, how to choose what types of products or services to offer, how to maximize the potential of what you're creating, and how to bring in the abundance. You know, we're going to talk about abundance a lot all throughout the year. And our guide for this month will be Thoth, as he is the master of the sacred architecture of creation. And so he can really help us bring form to our wild and radical ideas that we got in April. As always, plenty of time for coaching individually during these meetings. Then in June, we'll be in Gemini energy. So we're going to learn about technology. We're also going to have a solstice celebration. We will celebrate the solstices and equinoxes in this group. So as it says here, we'll be flooded with mind-altering Gemini energy this month. We will have Venus conjunct the Sun and Mercury conjunct Jupiter, all in Gemini from June 3rd to the 5th. This is an amazingly positive energy. So I'm going to guide you in a shamanic journey to connect with the cosmic intelligence and pull down the insights and next steps that are meant to flow through for you. And I'm also going to share a training, couple trainings, because it's a great month for technology. The importance of your email subscriber service, which is even more important than your website in determining the success of your project or your business. I'm also going to share training about how to use YouTube to grow your business in a very fun and exciting way. So, amazing, fun month. Now, I'm not going to go through every single month here on the video because I know you guys can come here and read about it for yourselves, but just know that every month includes astrological updates, a mythological guide that is aligned with the energetics of that month, and teachings and trainings that I will provide you based on my many, many years of entrepreneurial and visionary business coaching expertise. Okay, so you can come here and read through all of these. And it's really such a beautiful year. We're going to move through so many incredible energetics all throughout this year. Now, I want to tell you about the investment. And as you know, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And that same principle is true when starting your soul purpose project. The time is now, truly. So for this program, I really want to keep it as absolutely low as possible, as affordable as possible for everybody. So I know this is well worth $333 per month in US dollars. But I want you to have everything included here, including access to me where I will directly, individually coach you in the group setting for only $122 per month US dollars. Now, this price is, this is actually available. Apologies about this. The date is wrong here. This is actually going to be available until the end of the day on January 7th, because we're having our first class meeting on January 8th. Okay, so I'll fix that by the time you see this page yourself. It'll be updated. This will be available until January 7th at 11:59 p.m. New York time. So you can just click this button here if you would like to join with the installment plan. You will be automatically set up to have that 122 deducted every month for as long as you want to stay in the group. If you want to pay in full upfront, you can do so for even bigger savings. You can join with a full payment of US dollars 1277. Now, I have some really important payment policy notes here. There are no refunds on what has already been paid. Okay, so if you pay by installment, you can join and stay in for 4 months or 7 months or whatever and decide to leave at any point during the year. If you want to leave at some point during the year and you're on the installment plan, just let us know by email that you would like to leave, and we'll stop all future installment payments going forward from that time that you notify us. So you are not locked into this. If you do the installment plan, you can come and, and you can leave when you want. If you pay in full upfront, we're not going to do pro rata refunds. So if you're paying in full upfront, you're telling us that you plan to stay in the Radical New World Building Group for the full year of 2024, which is amazing. And I hope you will. But as it says here at the bottom, if you're not sure whether you want to stay for the full year, then definitely register via the installment option. And then you have the option to leave the group and stop having your payments made at any time during the year. There's more information here. This is for you if you've been wanting to start that project, venture, or business for a long time, but you just haven't had the time, space, freedom, inspiration to get it off the ground yet. And you want to be held in a visionary container where you can receive customized guidance, coaching, and support to really finally make it happen in 2024. If that's you, this is perfect for you. This is also for you if you've already got your project, venture, or business up and running, but it hasn't had the results you were hoping for yet. And you need personalized expert coaching and entrepreneurial strategy to really take it to the next level of abundance in 2024. If that's you, Radical New World Building Group is perfect for you. This is also really ideal if you have an in-person business that you would like to bring online to reach a global audience, increase your abundance, expand your connection with your true ideal clients all around the world. This is perfect for you if you're a therapist, psychologist, or academic who is looking to do your work in a different, deeper, and more meaningful way. I speak to so many people who are therapists or psychologists who want to bring in shamanic practices, or want to bring in other ancient wisdom traditions and are feeling so restricted in the model in which they have to work with all the regulations and the forms that need to be filled out and the, insurance companies and everything. So if you want to work in a more shamanic way, a more earth-connected way, and you know that you need to expand your business online, starting a global online arm of your business, in order to do that, this is absolutely perfect for you. I have many, many clients who are on that journey. So I really understand, and I'm here to support you in that. The world needs your deeper gifts for sure. Absolutely. This is also perfect for you if you're an artist or a creative who has an incredible gift to share, but you haven't found a way yet to really get your creations out into the world, and you want to learn online entrepreneurial strategies for getting it out there. This is also perfect for you if you don't know quite yet what your project, venture, or business is going to look like, but you are so ready to move forward in the process of visioning it, conceptualizing it, grounding it, bringing it into reality in 2024, and you want to be supported in a visionary container to do so. If any of those are you, then this is the place for you to be. So come on and check it out. As I said, these amazing value prices of $122 per month for the installment plan or $1277 for the full year paid up front are available until 11:59 p.m. New York time on, it will be Sunday, January 7th, because our first class will be on January 8th. So I will complete the call here. If you do have any questions about the Radical New World Building Group, please go ahead and write to my team at hello@wearesacredplanet.com, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. I hope to see many of you joining the Radical New World Building Group. I can't wait to guide you and support you and inspire you all throughout the year. We're going to have so much fun in the group. Go check out the page. It will be linked right below as soon as this recording is complete. And see if it resonates for you, see if it looks like what you are needing in 2024. I'm sending you all so much love, many, many blessings, and I will see you all soon.